Good evening, good evening. It's another Tuesday with a mental catalyst. Thank you for choosing to spend this evening with me, and I hope everybody is good and well, and you're in for you're looking forward to another good session. So last week was entitled "Sexiness of Obsession," and we are doing the sexy series. So we've done sexiness of failure. We've done the sexiness of obsession, and then the sexiness of fear. So how can failure and failing be positive? How can obsession be, positive? And then today is about fear, right? And how can fear be positive? So today's is basically season 12 out of session 2. Season 2, session 12. I think I'm tired. So today's is entitled Sexiness of Fear. And fear is something that we all, experience, by virtue of our makeup being human beings. Okay, so it's an emotion. So and we define sexiness as, someone that is very exciting as well as very appealing. So at the end of it, we want to be very exciting and appealing in terms of what we become and how we are perceived and the things we do. So that's the title, Sexiness. So that is the meaning, or that's where I'm coming from. So a couple of months back, my parents summoned me because they realized that, I was really in a dark place, and the son they know was not the son that they've been experiencing for quite a while. So they humbly requested my presence, and when they do that, I know that Charlie, there's trouble. So I humbly went, and pleasantries were exchanged here and there, and then my dad was like, normally my dad will start. It's like, well, we invited you not for any bad reason or whatever it is, but as concerned parents, we realized that you're not okay, and as much as you always tell us you are, we believe that you're not, and it's about time that we have a conversation. So they started talking, and I was like, guys, I'm okay. I'm a lion, man. I'm a lion. Okay, your son is brave, is bold. So no matter what's coming at me, don't worry, I'll be fine. My mom was looking at me quietly, and he said, son, I did not give birth to a lion. I gave birth to a human being. So please, stop this I'm a lion business. Please stop. And it was interesting because, yes, she didn't give birth to a lion, an animal in the jungle. She gave birth to a human being. But why was I seeing her as a lion? And for those who are close to me, some of them call me Don the Lion King, and all sorts of, they tease me with it. But why? Why do I say I'm a lion? And why do I sometimes say I'm an eagle? And why do I say sometimes I'm a pussycat? So I'm going to explain that to you guys. And all of that also borders around the subject of fear. Okay? The subject of fear. So what is fear really? What is fear? Okay? So fear is a natural, powerful, and primitive human emotion. Primitive, meaning that it's been with us since, the creation of the world and when humanity was created and put on this earth. So fear is an emotion which has been with us for a very, very long time. Fear alerts us to the presence of danger or the threat of harm, whether that danger is physical or psychological. So here today we're not going to be talking about physical, danger largely. Physical fear. We're going to be talking about psychological, and emotional in terms of the things we think about, the things that hold us back, and things like that. So what are my 3 key fears as we even engage today? Okay. So normally you have different degrees of fear. So you have the bigger, monstrous ones. Then you have the little, small ones that come from time to time. But my 3 key fears now, at this time of my life, is 1, the goal and the dream of being able to impact or increase the health span of 1 billion people in the next 20 years. So the billion healthy lives agenda is something that scares me and makes me anxious. And I'm scared about it because the dream is big, the goal is big, and I don't have the clear picture of how we're going to deliver on the billion healthy lives. Secondly, it also gets to me because I have put it out there for which people know that this is our agenda. So what it means is that whatever it takes, we have to succeed. So that is one of my big, big fears now. And we're not talking about a fear that's going to disappear. This is going to stay with me for the next 20 years, okay? The second one is TMC, the Mental Catalyst Show, okay? We started off as a joke, and we've done 8 months already, getting to our 9th month. Now, the interesting thing is this, the past couple of weeks, I've been getting feedback that is very humbling, at the same time also gives me pressure. Because right now, the kind of feedback I've gotten, I've realized that people are really taking TMC very seriously, and it's actually impacting their lives and that of their loved ones. What it means is that now I have to super take it seriously, as well as ensure that at any point in time, the sessions are worthwhile. So that's pressure in itself. And because this is something that I do just alone, I don't have a team with me now and all of that, you know, it's kind of like daunting, and sometimes I'm worried, am I going to speak the right English? Am I going to construct? Am I going to use the right examples? You know, is the internet going to, you know, work and stuff like that? So I have all of that anxieties as well. And having put out TMC and saying that, look, for the next 20 years, every Tuesday we're going to have a TMC show, I mean, that alone is something that keeps me up at night, right? Then the last one is more personal, whereby I have, you know, one of my goals this year is to read at least 52 books a year. That is a book a week, okay? And this is not really something that's out there, but it's a personal, you know, goal. So, and remember what I always say, look, challenge yourself, set your own personal goals, be true to yourself, okay? So now if I'm being true to myself and I desire to read 52 books, I have to ensure that I read it. So by virtue of, as the days go by and the months go by, you know, I keep track of how many books I have read. And I've read like 24 books now out of 52. And how many more months do we have? You know, so now I need to figure out how to catch up. And I really want to, you know, hit my mark. So these are my fears, okay? But the beautiful thing about fear is that it is really, really a positive emotion if you look at it that way. Or it can also be negative, and then it can consume you and destroy you, okay? So today I'm going to talk about the different types of fear, and then also the benefits of that fear, okay? And how we can use it to our advantage. So what are the types of fear? You know, fear of failure. We all have it. We all have it. We don't want to fail because society hates failure. Society doesn't understand why we should fail, okay? So when we did the sexiness of failure, and if you can connect it, you know, failure is just part of success. It's a process, and it's part of it. So if you're going to succeed, you have to fail, okay? And it's okay to fail. So, but people are naturally scared of failing, okay? So fear of failure, fear of rejection. Nobody likes to be rejected. Nobody likes to be rejected. So for that reason, people will not dare, people will not move, people will not try new things, okay? Fear of change. Change is the only constant thing in life, right? But a lot of times we all hate change because it's not something we are used to, it's something that we don't know what's around the corner, and we hate it. Fear of public speaking. A lot of people prefer death over public speaking, and it's something that is there. So a lot of people have the fear of public speaking, okay? Fear of losing. People hate to lose. Some people are okay, look, if they win, they lose, whatever it is. But most people, you know, hate losing because there's nothing really positive about it given our culture. And fear of the unknown. None of us knows what is around the corner, what is going to happen in the next minute, the next hour, you know, next week, next year. None of us know. So the fear of the unknown is so massive that it also affects who we are and the things we do. But ironically also, fear of success. And there are people who are also scared of success. Oh my goodness, what if I super succeed in this world? What am I going to do? If I'm lucky and I make $5 million, what am I going to do? You know, so there's also the fear of success. And here are some of my two favorite quotes, or, you know, my top quotes when it comes to fear. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Inaction, keyword, breeds doubt and fear. But action breeds confidence and courage. So that was by Dale Carnegie, yeah? Then this one is from our grandpapa, Nelson Mandela. In action, so Nelson Mandela's is, the brave man is not he who does not feel afraid. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. That's by Nelson Mandela. So fear is something that is part of our emotions. It's part of the different emotions we have. But the beautiful thing about fear is that we can leverage it to our advantage. Now, what is the sweet spot of fear? And I like this. This is one of my super favorites. Yeah, sweet spot of fear. Some say where fear meets courage is the sweet spot in which mountains get scaled and rivers are run. Some say where fear meets courage is that sweet spot, the G spot, the sweet spot in which mountains get scaled and rivers are run. But most of all, fear can be the birthplace of change, creativity, and innovation. So you see, at the core of it all is this emotion called fear. Let me take that again. Some say, that's the sweet spot. Some say where fear meets courage. So fear is coming and you meet it with courage is that sweet spot in which mountains get scaled and rivers are run. Most of all, fear can be the birthplace of change, creativity, and innovation. So as we aspire to discover our purpose in life and live our best lives, we need to also know that fear is something that can help us through change, creativity, and innovation to meet that end. So what are some of the benefits of fear? Heightened awareness. So when we feel fear, that awareness is sparked within us. Either we choose to fight or we run. But remember what I talked about in emotional intelligence. You always need to know your emotions, your state of mind, and the emotions you're feeling so that you know how to act. So if you are now aware through your feeling of fear, then you will know how to act. But a lot of times people are not aware. They just feel it, but they're not aware that they are feeling fear to know what tool to use to deal with fear. So when you feel it and you are aware, then you will know how to appropriately handle fear. Fear gives you clarity on what's really important in life. Fear gives you what? Clarity on what's really important in life. So for example, my parents are obviously, getting up in age. And I know they're not going to be around forever. And as much as I'm busy pursuing the brilliant healthy lives and all of those things, I also know that they're not going to be around forever. Therefore, I need to spend time, quality time with them. So the fear of them not being around has enabled me to determine the things that are important to me in life, of which spending quality time with my parents, honoring my parents is one, and also ensuring that my kids are okay and all of that, outside of my good friends and loved ones as well. So fear also helps us determine our priorities and the things that matter to us largely. Okay? Activates championship mentality. Fear activates championship mentality. So it's about turning your fears into a personal competition. As I said regarding my reading. Okay? Because I am so determined to succeed and I want to succeed in this life, knowing very well that failure is not an option when it's all said and done. I have the fear of what? Not succeeding. And for me to manage that fear, I need to have what? Personal challenges, of which setting big goals as a billion healthy lives and backing it up with action better positions me. So that fear serves as a catalyst for me to set big goals and pursue it with massive action. Another benefit is it motivates you to build skills. In some of the sessions, I talked about the tools. Now, when you have fear, how do you overcome it? You need to be able to have certain skills that will help you. So the fear of public speaking, how do you overcome it? You have to invest time and money in improving your public speaking skills. And I've always highly recommended Toastmasters. I talked about my typing skills not being what I had wanted it to be. I invested time in Mavis Beacon and did what? Improved my typing skills and accuracy. So when you feel fear, it's an opportunity for you to use it to build skills to help you overcome it and manage it. So reading is also another skill in terms of reading and acquiring knowledge and being able to be imaginative. Because when you find yourself in a situation where you're well read, you're very knowledgeable, you have a very creative, fertile, mind and imagination, you are able to handle situations that life throws at you. So fear is supposed to help you acquire and build those skills. Overcoming fear and reward anticipation. So the reward I seek for 1 billion healthy lives is we've increased the health span of 1 billion people all over the world. That is the reward for me. But pursuing that agenda also creates fear within me because I'm not sure whether it will fail, it will succeed, and all of that. But because the reward is so massive, the fear is not as big. Therefore, the sense of the size of the reward helps me deal with the fear and allows me to continue pursuing the goal. Then replicating the breakthroughs. So when you are aware, the heightened awareness, and you are conscious of your emotions, you are conscious and you're aware of your feeling and you're feeling fear, and you've used whatever tools, approaches, methodologies and stuff to overcome fear. Now, when you encounter a similar situation in the future, because you have been through it before, you know that, I've been there before and I can handle it. And the more you overcome fear in different scenarios or different aspects of your life, you're becoming immune. You're becoming immune. You're becoming immune. And that is also what positions you to soar towards greater success. So it helps you replicate, experiences that you have used to conquer fear. So be it at work, be it at school, church, your personal relationships and all of that. Helping others overcome their fears. Today, I'm most humbled because people are giving me amazing feedback that I didn't expect. Now people are calling me coach, and I'm like, okay, please, I'm not a coach. You're my coach, I'm your coach. We learn, we share, and we grow together, we develop together. So by virtue of me putting myself out there and going through all of this stress and all of these discoveries and adventures and things like that, I'm gaining and learning a lot about life. I'm acquiring skills that naturally I wouldn't have gotten. And it's positioning me to be in at a level where I'm able to also help others. And that the feeling of being able to help others is insanely humbling and very, very rewarding. Okay? So if somebody presents an issue to me or they find themselves in a fix or in a bind or whatever situation, I'm able to tap into my tool set and then also, put our heads together and then lend a hand. Okay? And fear helps you stay in the present moment and to focus. So I talked about how, my parents, spending time with them, caring about them, making sure they're okay and things like that. It helps me because of the fear of, the unknown, it helps me ensure that, for now, I need to make sure that I'm always engaged and I'm okay with them and they're okay with me and all of that. You get what I'm talking about? Letting go and the after strength. And there are times when I have put in my very best, I've done all that I can do, and I was not successful. And that is when I let go. But letting go, there's strength in that, because the after strength, because you know that you put in your all and it didn't work, and you learn from it. So fear is an emotion that we can use to advance who we are and our goals. So if you're watching me, my brothers and sisters, do not be afraid. Do not let fear prevent you from living your best life. Acknowledge the feeling, the emotion of fear. Choose to succeed. Use the tool sets we've spoken about to this point. Staying focused, persevere, practice positive thinking, leveraging emotional intelligence, being super obsessed, and embracing fear. Now here's the thing. I don't want anybody watching at the end of the day, when you're at the end of life, to look back and regret and say, you know what, had I known, I wish I could live my life this way, that way. No. We have the power to change course now. If you're watching me, nothing stops you from finding what your life's purpose is. But what is most important is you have to put in the time. You have to put in the time. I'm a living testimony of it. I've been through very interesting and dark places, but I have chosen to succeed in this life, but not alone, but with anybody who is watching me. So when you feel fear, remember that Michael said, you know what? It is to your advantage. Last session I talked about, when I feel fear, I know it's an indicator for me to act. It's my cue to act. It's my alarm bell going off to act. So my brothers and sisters, it's okay to feel. It's okay to be obsessed. It's okay to be afraid. But don't let fear derail you. Don't let fear stop you from being that sexy, beautiful person you could be. Don't let fear deny humanity of what you have to offer. So on that note, as much as we all feel fear, I hope you guys will be able to manage your fear and find your own eagles, find your own lions, find your own pussycats, your own phoenixes, and succeed. But act now. Do not take life for granted. Tomorrow is not promised. Live your best life now, and it starts with what? Action. So if there's one thing out there that you have fear, there's one thing out there that is fear is preventing you from embarking upon or attempting or doing, I challenge you. Take that first step towards it and hit me on the side and let me know how it goes. I love you guys. Take care and have an amazing evening.